Hi Edvard, welcome to the fourth edition of Nordic Data Science and Machine Learning Summit here in Stockholm. We are pleased to have you and Kidbrooke Advisory as our partner today. So before we continue with the further questions, please tell us a bit more about yourself and your background.
Yeah, thanks to you as well for hosting the event, and thanks for having us. I'm delighted to be here and be part of the event. My name is Edvard Sjögren. I'm a partner of Kidbrooke Advisory. Kidbrooke Advisory is a software consulting firm, and we offer machine learning validation. So we validate machine learning models for our clients. And so yeah, we're excited to be here and explain a bit more what that means and our view on why we need it. We are a company based primarily in Stockholm, but we also have a presence in London, in the UK. And actually the name Kidbrooke is the name of an area in London, and that's where the name comes from.
Great.
But the main bulk of our clients today are in Sweden.
That's great. So as you know, the theme of this day is toward human-centered data and AI innovation. And machine learning, as you know, is changing the world today. From your perspective, what are the biggest and most common challenges that organizations face when it comes to machine learning, adding to the trust and explainability aspect, which is an imperative lately? And what are the implications of not solving these challenges?
Yeah, thanks for that question. It's really good. I think, like you say, the theme is human-centered.
Yeah.
One challenge and one important area where we see for humans to really trust and understand these sometimes complex models is that you are able to explain and interpret these models.
Of course.
And in addition to that, we think another challenge is to really safeguard the performance of these models so that they work in the real life use cases. So I would say the main areas we focus on are explainability and performance of these models. So the main challenges with achieving this, I think, is to have a proper framework when developing these models, so that they from ground up become interpretable and explainable. And I think for that one needs an approach for the end-to-end cycle when developing these models to understand already from when framing the problem at hand and setting up the goals and target metrics of your model so that they align with what you're trying to achieve, so they serve the right purpose, all the way through the whole process to actually creating the end model and understanding it,
Of course.
and validating that. And there are some key technical challenges in doing that as well.
Well, these are some relevant challenges that you mentioned, and where should firms begin to approach them? And can you please give us some interesting examples of how we can increase trust in such models and make them explainable, as you said, and as well as how you actually help organizations in this area?
Yeah, absolutely. What I can do to make it a bit more specific, I'll start with one specific example where it really illustrates what we mean by explainability. So say that end customer goes to, say, the bank, for example, and this bank has developed a machine learning model that makes the decision or advises the decision for this client whether or not for them to get a mortgage. So this machine learning model that could predict probability or likelihood of you repaying your mortgage from this person. So in that use case, say this mortgage application is denied, so you don't get a mortgage for your house. Now, obviously, the end customer, you in this case, you would be very interested in understanding why was this decision made, because this obviously affects the customer in a very material way. It's a very important decision that's being made.
Right.
And so there are also some rules and regulations in this respect, both in the US and Europe, that says the client is able must be able to have this decision motivated, right? And then there are so that's key then to be able to explain what factors influenced this decision, which features were most important in arriving at this decision, and that's where frameworks such as the one that we have developed would be able to answer the why question in this case.
Right.
Why does this happen? So yeah, that's a specific illustrative example, which I think indicates why you would need it. Our clients are mainly in the financial industry, so we help banks and insurance companies. And another area where we helped one of our clients is also with respect to their risk and internal models, where they have the same problem or issue of needing to know which risks affect them or are most important for them. And that's very important to know in order to make the right decisions and be able to act upon the data you have, to act upon it in the correct way.
Yeah, that's great. That was a great explanation. And for those companies that are just starting on the journey in machine learning, what would be your recommendation for speeding up the process of turning data into insight and action?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The key here, if you want to turn your data into action, is really to make sure you turn the data into the right action for you. Right? And key to that is the two challenges I mentioned in the beginning, to being able to understand the model, so it's the right action you take based on your model, but also to safeguard the performance of this model so that it stays relevant. Right? If you have a very good performing model that all of a sudden starts perhaps not responding to new data the way you think and want, then this initiative might not be as lasting as it would have been elsewhere. I think our suggestion to companies starting out in this area is really to think on this validation angle from the start when establishing the machine learning processes, and doing it throughout the cycle, and not just when the model is ready, but really to, like I said, think about what you're trying to achieve with the model, such that your target metrics reflect what you want to achieve.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And also to think about your data gathering process. It's very important to have sufficient data quality, and that your data reflects your real life situation. So it has to be relevant data, and it has to be sufficient quality. And this is also an area where we offer tools such that for anomaly detection, for example, to ensure that you have sufficient data quality. Then there's also the important step of exploring that data and pre-processing it. And finally, there's the model development itself. And there's also, from the start, important to build up a range of models that increase maybe in complexity, and to also have at your toolbox a set of simpler models that you fully understand and feel comfortable with. And these can be sort of benchmark models or so-called surrogate models, which are also very helpful in complementing the view perhaps for also these more complex, say, neural networks, XGBoost, or these very modern models that are very powerful and offer very high precision and accuracy, but are sometimes perceived as being more of a black box models. And by combining these simpler models that one is able to understand, say linear regression, for example, and these these simple models are able to tell you something about the structure of your data, the structure of the real world, and they are sometimes also able to explain what these more complex models are doing in certain areas.
Yeah.
So the short answer is really to think about explainability and validation already from the start with each use case, and plan for it for your end-to-end machine learning development process. That's the key.
So Edward, one last question. When it comes to machine learning, from a technology point of view, what can we expect in the next 1 to 2 years?
Thank you. That's a really good question. I think there's definitely a lot happening in this area now, and the pace is really fast. Compared to changes. The trend we're seeing now is that there's, you see at this great event of yours, there's a lot of tools offering, a lot of companies offering tools that allows to automate a lot of the machine learning development. They offer the user to work at a sort of higher level of abstraction. I think that trend will continue, and that these applications will also filter through to the end application of the machine learning models themselves. So we work a lot with, to just give an example of an industry where we have a lot of our clients and development is the financial industry, where one big transformation that's taking place at the moment is that a lot of financial decision making, such as the one I mentioned around mortgages or credit, or around, say, giving clients financial advice. Some of these processes are today quite manual, but they're being automated, sometimes with the aid of sort of machine learning models. I think that's a trend that we definitely see will continue. It will affect, obviously, a lot of people working in these areas, because some of the work will be replaced by automated tools, and that will definitely change from two perspectives: the people working in the industry, but also from the end user. But I think the benefit for the end user in this case is that many of these tools and applications will filter through and reach a larger part of the population, so that some of these advice services that maybe traditionally have been too expensive to offer to the whole public are a lot cheaper now to offer due to the automation and machine learning being applied. And I think that's a great benefit, because that means a lot more people will have access to these type of insights and that these technologies are able to deliver. So I think that's a great benefit. I think that's definitely both benefits and challenges. And I think it's important also to think about the impact on jobs that this might have, and how you approach that. I think that's for the financial industry, that's an example, but I think that probably carries true for a large number of other industries as well.
It was a good recap of what's going on. So thank you, Edvard, again, and thank you to Kidbrooke Advisory for being part of the Nordic Data Science and Machine Learning Summit. And
thank you for hosting a great event. It was great talking to you, and really had some interesting exchanges as well. People coming here, and I hope you keep this up. It's great.
Thank you
Thank you for having me.